my name is Pauline Harrison and I'm here at Fintech with London with Scott. Scott, how are you doing today?
Doing very well, thank you, Polly. How are you?
I am wonderful, thank you for asking. No one asks me, so thank you.
Sure.
Why don't you give yourself a little bit of an intro as to who you are and what you do?
My name's Scott Dawson. I'm the Head of Sales and Strategic Partnerships at DECTA. DECTA is both a technical and payment service provider. Not only are we authorized by the regulator, the FCA, and principal members of both Visa and MasterCard, but we also have our own technical processing center, which makes us quite innovative in terms of technology. So from a service offering perspective, that means what we offer is both very broad and very bespoke. We can do issuing, acquiring, a white label gateway. We have a digital banking platform that's just been released. We can also do technical processing and issuing as well.
Fantastic, and I've been hearing that you've been taking over the UK by storm at the moment.
Yeah, I came to this business to help make it grow, and that's exactly what we're doing at this point in time. I think I'd mentioned before that this is the year of localizing and optimizing, and that's very much been the focus, and so far we've succeeded. Our team has doubled now at this point within the United Kingdom. We're out, we're active, we're doing more than we've ever done before in the United Kingdom, and it feels great.
Fantastic, and I guess, are you going further? What are your plans to keep that growth going?
The plans are to always be going further, so I imagine we'll be hiring more people throughout 2023. We're considering localizing the offering and having regional offices throughout the United Kingdom, which I think is great. London is such a wonderful hub for fintech, but there is more to the United Kingdom than London. And I think getting more bums on seats outside of this city is very important. Not just in terms of business growth, but ensuring that the businesses that are out there that benefit from our services have access to them. I know it's an online world and you can access anything from anywhere, but there's something different when you're looking someone in the eye and actually getting to have a real conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess that's something that it's kind of getting trending at the moment, right? Because having that human person back into after going through COVID and the pandemic of everything going digital, now it's almost like the reverse, right? Everything's going back to sort of wanting to have that interaction.
I think we had all forgotten how important it is and how much we enjoy human interaction. Even for myself, when I first joined this business and I had to go back to an office, I didn't know how I felt about it. It was kind of, sounds like a lot of work. But with the right team, the right product, and the right business, being back in the office is a wonderful thing. I actually look forward to the days when I'm with the team that I work with.
How does the industry look to you at the moment? What's trending? What's going on? What are you seeing right now?
I think there's a bit of a back to basics initiative happening at the moment. I mean, over the last few years, there's been a lot of perspective development in terms of investing into concepts as opposed to practical solutions. And there's a lot of merit to that. That's part of the development cycle. But I think after a few of the changes in the industry and a few of those ideas not necessarily getting the traction that was expected, businesses are being forced to kind of look at what's actually there right now, what we can actually optimize, what we can actually develop. I think we're at this interesting point in the industry where the technology and some of the core concepts have kind of caught up with each other. And so when you have initiatives like open banking and embedded finance, I don't necessarily think they're new concepts. I think the idea of moving money from one bank account to another is something we can do for a very long time. But the idea of doing so via an API, as streamlined as it is now, is new and exciting. Embedded finance, a lot of the services, the payment services, the banking services, the insurance services, the card services and such, that you can provide now through embedded finance. Once again, it's not new, but it's streamlined, it's sleek, and it's so much better than it would have been 10 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess, are there anything at the moment you're seeing as sort of like a challenge in the industry, especially, it's a bit of this dicey moment, right, with the living crisis and funding issues and all that sort of stuff. But what else are you seeing like posing a bit of a challenge at the moment?
I think there's a few big challenges at the moment, all of which are necessary and all of which probably make the industry a better place to be operating. So for instance, regulation, particularly in the UK, the regulators being more aggressive at the moment. I think they're scrutinizing our industry to a greater extent. At the moment, that can feel burdensome and kind of intimidating, but fundamentally, I think that's necessary to ensure that we have a fair and even playing field within our industry and that the consumer is appropriately protected. And to be blunt, the rules that are being enforced aren't necessarily new, they're just being better implemented. And I think that's necessary. It's going to be a learning experience for a lot of firms out there. But if you're running your business well, you're taking your regulatory responsibilities seriously, and you're putting the appropriate framework and controls in place, it shouldn't be a problem. I also just think the competition within the United Kingdom keeps things very interesting. You cannot just come out into this industry offering a bog standard product in a bog standard manner and expect results. I think there's a quote, iron sharpens iron or something along those lines. And I think that's where we are at the moment with this industry. I mean, at all of the events I've been to recently, and I'm seeing at London Fintech Week as well, the competition is fierce. And I don't think it's possible to get a bad product in payments anymore. I don't think there's a bad open banking solution or embedded finance solution or payment processor or card issuing program. The standard that we can all reach now is very, very high, which means you don't just need to be very good, you need to be exceptional.
Yeah, absolutely. And what do you think is going to happen in the future? Cast your eye for the next sort of, I guess, 5 years or so. Where do you think the industry's going?
I think there's going to be a mass consolidation within the industry within the next couple of years. Investors, particularly after kind of 2020, 2022, have certainly become more conservative. But there is still a lot of repetition within this industry right now in terms of service offerings. And once again, the standards of those services is so high. But I think larger businesses are going to start acquiring smaller ones, but the focus is going to be different. It's going to be less prospective and it's going to be more old school. Once again, back to basics in terms of what are they doing? What's the product market fit? Are they profitable? And can we enhance what they currently have? And what does what they currently have enhance what we're doing? I think it's a bit of a back to basics approach with investment. I think a lot of the concepts we're discussing now will be better streamlined. So open banking, embedded finance, even just good old fashioned acquiring with alternative payments and such. I can't tell you specifically what it's going to look like, but I can tell you it's going to look even better.
So how about AI? I feel like that's such a trending buzz at the moment, both in the fintech space and in consumers. What do you think that's going to have on the industry?
I think AI is going to have a profound impact on this industry. I don't think it's going to happen quite yet. The development that's happening throughout AI is focusing on LLMs, things like ChatGPT, and the ability to aggregate and repeat information to kind of come up with pseudo thoughts is interesting, but I don't think that's going to immediately affect the decisioning for open banking, for instance. But I do think, give it a few more years, and AI is going to be a force to be reckoned with within this industry.
Well, brilliant. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure to chat.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you very much, Polly.